You may have seen in a previous video how we did a conservation and like a preservation on this Trap Door Springfield, model 1873. The owner of the rifle said he'd like to see it fired. I said, well, why don't we have some fun with this and come up with like maybe some blanks, like Hollywood kind of stuff. So first I started with just a prime brass. So I prime brass just to see if the firing pin works, see if it functions, see how the firing pin struck. And then we'd move up to something a little more fun and we'll have a good time with this. Right? So we actually did get to shoot a 150-year-old rifle.
First shot is just going to be a primer only. Just want to see what it sounds like, make sure the firing pin works, make sure the gun functions. So we've got just a brass with just a primer. I'll set it to half cock. We'll open the action. I'm going to drop this in. All right. We'll bring it to full cock, and we'll fire the primer only. All right. So it seemed to function. Go to half cock, we'll open her up. Let's take a look at that firing. That primer had a nice primer strike, nice solid strike on there. And now it's no longer clean. There's a little primer dirt.
Once we determined that the rifle works, it functions, thought we'd step it up a little bit. So what I did is I made a blank round. Prime brass, I just put in, this is 4570, so I went with half a load. So I did 35 grains of black powder, and I did a paper wadding. So I wanted to see if, the black powder worked and ignited and see what this thing looked like when it actually really did fire. So we did a half a load. So we did that 40 instead of 4570, we did a 4535. How's that? That would be half a load, and it worked just fine.
Okay, so this is my first attempt at a blank. I've got a half charge of black powder, and I've got a paper wadding. We'll see if we can get the sound and the report that they were looking for. So we'll close that up. I'm gonna go to full cock. We're live. Let's do this. That would be like a movie blank. Let's go to half cock. We'll eject that. Take a look at this bad boy. And this one's gonna be hot. All right, there we go, nice solid primer strike. We blew our wadding out the barrel, had a little bit of smoke. I call that a success.
Well, we did step it up one more notch. We did fire a black powder load, a 4570 load through this. It did function. That 45 caliber ball made a nice big hole in the target. Unfortunately, I had some camera issues and I didn't get a video of it. We thought the camera was on and rolling, and turned out it wasn't. And we didn't notice until we'd driven the half hour back to the shop. And by then I didn't want to turn around and drive back out and shoot it again and put it on video. But trust me, it does work. It's really cool. It is the oldest rifle I've ever fired. And it works just like the day it was made. The 4570 round, it's as big as a house. And this great big long musket-like rifle did get to see a little more action today. Not anything on the battlefield, but still I think it'd be worthy. Battle worthy, just like it used to be. All right. So there we go. A working, functioning Trap Door Springfield from 1873. And it works.